name's Mr. Skerritt. These next YouTube clips that I will be doing for you, these blogs, will be about the social services in Croydon. Now, what social services like doing is writing letters and putting confidential on them. That's confidential for them. It doesn't have to be confidential for you. What I'm going to try to do now is empower you who's watching, empower you, the families who need the help with social services. Through my cases and things that I've been through, I may be able to help you. Last year, I was attacked by my son's mother in Croydon. Now, this was caught on a CCTV camera, and also there was witnesses present. However, when social services was told to get involved, or asked by the police, they didn't decide to get the full information before doing what they have to do. Now, they always talk about protecting the children. They even got a program on television about protecting the children. However, they don't protect their children, nor do they safeguard the children. What they do is actually safeguard themselves. And this is why they put the confidential on it, and they only want certain people to come in. First of all, if you get social services in your life, what you should do is let them know, regardless of what they say, you're going to record them. Okay? You're going to record them because you have to record them. The reason why I say that is because some social services are very bad-minded. I'm going to use terms that we all understand. Okay? I'm not going to get all articulate with everybody. I'm just going to be straight and forward. Yeah? I'm going to avoid using bad language, so we don't have any problems here. But some social services will look in your face, smile with you, talk with you, and then go off and write their report about you and insult you. It's really hard to find a beginning ground with social services, so I'm just going to start here. Social services usually deal with drug dealers, people who have been in mental illnesses, coming out of mental institutes, having kind of disorder. They're not used to the normal 9-to-5 working man or woman. They're not used to that. To have that in their life, it's really mind-boggling, because they don't know what to do with you. So what they try and do is, if this I have here is drug dealers and the collective of these people with disorders, then a lot of these social workers, not all, say, right, okay, this person is different to this. Now, if this person is different to this in my right hand, what am I supposed to write and what am I supposed to do? They don't know. So what they try and do is slip you in to become this. Now, they'll use words like, gentleman X doesn't show any empathy. I find this mind-boggling, truly mind-boggling, especially if you're a woman and you say this. How on earth would you know if a man is showing empathy or not? How the hell can you work that out? You can't. It's impossible for a woman to work out how a man is. It's impossible for a man to work out how a woman is. It's just facts of life. Okay? So, how do you measure up the word empathy? If a man is crying or if a man is not crying, how can you measure that? You can't. But what a lot of social workers try to do, and I keep saying a lot of them, I don't say all of them, because not all of them are the same. We have to remember, some people are different. So the ones that you may come across who is different, you've got to try them out first. If you see that they are different to the others, then you must treat them in the correct manner. Okay? The other lot, though, you need to be fully on guard. I mean, truthfully, because they will write so many things that you need psychiatric help, development, because you don't know how to work with a child. They don't see you every day. These social service people see you for an hour or 15 minutes, and you're in an environment right? A place, an environment, a place where they only see you and where they're judging you. And somebody who is being judged does not work at their best. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. If you're doing an exam and you've got 10,000 people staring at you, looking at you while you're doing this exam, you're not going to work properly. Social services, some of them, tend to think that because they're sitting there watching you, that you're going to be at your best behavior and do things as you normally do it. But you're not, because you're putting on a show for them. Here's the thing. If you're going to put on a show for them, do it properly. Get a camera. Get a cheap camera. Use your camera on your phone. Yeah? A simple phone. This is my phone. Just set it up in a room. Click record. When you hit record, you record everything that takes place. You working with your child, you talking to them. You know, I would personally record everything. Case conferences, call meetings, any kind of meeting that you have to sit with a social worker is, record it, because you know what? A lot of them will lie against you. They might even say that you didn't even turn up to a meeting when you was there. Okay? Try and get social services to email you instead of picking up the phone and calling you, thinking that's the way of having a communication. And then they turn around and say, well, I never actually spoke to them. If you've got it in the email, at least you can trace it and say, well, actually, email on 31st of July 2011, you know, I got this from you. They can never deny it. But a lot of social workers have a lot of work to do, and they forget. They're human beings, so they forget who they're actually dealing with and could mess up the work that they're doing. So, you know, baby A, baby B, baby C, you know, your child D, somebody else E, F and G, because they usually got like 15 cases. They can easily mix up who and who. That's why it's best to actually get an email from them. Now if you get an email from them, everything is documented. When they mess up, you can tell them, actually, no, you're incorrect. I sent you something on this day. Now, here it is. A gentleman by the name of Mr. Robert McGamby was instructed to be with my son when an incident took place where I was attacked in front of his mother, well, in front of him by his mother and his mother's sister. Mr. Robert McGamby now, he decides to write out the mother's report. He doesn't write out the police's report, nor does he write out what was on the CCTV camera. He writes out, me, Mr. Skerritt, had an argument with the mother, took the child out of the mother's car, then drove away without securing my son's seatbelt. Then my son fell out the car. Then I continued to drive off. Now in the case meeting, he said, my son jumped up on the chair, jumped out the window, landed on the floor, banged his head on the floor, and I continued to drive. That's what I'm telling you. Some social workers, you need to be careful of. When the CCTV camera came, it said this: father was attacked by mother and her sister. Father asked the son, or spoke to the child walked into the car. The mother's sister dragged this child out the car. The child didn't bang their head, the child didn't fall over. The father got out the car. Now, you see, the father got out the car. He didn't drive away, nor did the child bang their head on the floor. Nor was it just an argument because the dad was attacked. Now, I was attacked. He put down, it was an argument. He already spoke to the detective. He knew the truth. But he wrote it in the report to try and save the mother. Because the social services, they like to believe that children should only be with the mother. They don't think that fathers are capable of raising children. They just think the mother is. No matter if the mother's a drug addict or, you know, a killer, it doesn't really matter as long as the child is with the mother. The social worker, on top of this, in a case meeting, said, I didn't deliver any information. He asked me for information, and I never gave it to him. However, I have an email here the email states that my wife was going to the office to drop off the folder. Then later on in the email, he writes, when would you like your wife to come and pick up the folder with all the information that you've given? But in the meeting, he said that I didn't give him anything. So this made him look like a right twit, didn't it? Like me having this. This is why I'm saying email. You got to have email. Imagine if I said this to him on the phone, or he came back to me on the phone. If he said that to me on the phone, then I wouldn't have had any proof apart from the phone calls. But the problem with the phone calls, when social services like to call you, they do it with an unknown. So you don't know who's calling you. Right. Here's another thing for that. Every time you see an unknown, hit record on your dictaphone. Yeah? Regardless of who the hell it is. Just press record, because you don't know. If it's nothing interesting, just press stop. If it is social services, keep it on, put it on loudspeaker. Try and be where somebody else is in the room. Because this man liked to say that I was shouting at him, and I was shouting at me on the phone. But inside my office, I can't shout at people, because my office is next door to other people who are present. My office is contained with 7 people. So these people were actually listening to the conversation and actually wrote down what I had said, so I could provide it in court. They also could provide themselves to court to say I wasn't shouting at him. But he wanted to make it so convincing that I was aggressive that he decided to say it, knowing that I would have to defend myself. Now what social service like to do is say stuff knowing that you have to defend yourself. Now the problem with all this is it becomes a boxing match. Now you're trying to see your child and you're trying to raise your child. Your ex-partner doesn't want you to raise the child or see the child. And then you've got social services. Now social services are supposed to help the situation. They choose not to. I asked this social worker, Mr. Robert McGamby, if he could mediate for us. Yes? He turned around and told me no. Then he said, would you like to go mediation? I said yes. Then he said, no more mediation. Then I said, please, you need to mediate. I've not seen my son. He said, he's not going to help me. Okay, what are social services are for? Social services is a support. That's the word. The word services means support. We pay out of our tax money to the government for this company to support our needs. If we need them to socially get involved in what's going on, we want them to get involved to help the situation, to bring a family together, or separate families, a mutual ground. Not to write nasty information about one or nasty about somebody else. It's not one of those things where where it satisfies you. You go home and laugh to your friends and say, well, I just cursed this man, called him names, and now he's not going to see his son. Woohoo, I've got a one-up. It's not about that. Your job is to help, and if you're not going to help, why are you doing it? You might as well go somewhere else. Okay? Right. On the report, they like to get information wrong as well, and they continue to put it down. So, where an incident took place on the 30th, they put down the 31st. They write down that, you attacked, and you have to prove that you didn't. And then you've got a stereotype or a stigma against you for all this occasion. Okay, this is what we need to try and get rid of. Now, like I said, this is going to be one video of many. I'm going to go through my case, and anybody else who wants to send me in information, a piece at a time, time after time, and I'm just going to keep loading it onto YouTube, and hopefully I can help you families, to empower yourself and get yourself stronger, because you shouldn't have these type of people dictating and trying to control your life. You're supposed to control your life and everything around you. You can't control things not in your control, but you're in control of your life. Don't let nobody tell you you must get up, leave your workplace to go to their meeting, but they're not going to get up from their place to come to you and see you. Yeah? You need to become stronger and believe in yourself. If you haven't done anything wrong, good, all the better. But the thing is, you've got to start now keeping your evidence and bringing it all together, like I have. Yeah? My programs are here to empower you to become stronger, to beat this system that is not right. Okay? We got to do something.